Alright, welcome. Released in July of 2000, Jack Off Jail came out with their second and final studio album, Clear Hearts, Grey Flowers, which besides the band Boston's debut album, this is my favorite record ever. I am absolutely enthralled with it. For just like their discography, right, it's a successful and natural progression from Sexless Demons and Scars, which both carry similar themes and genres, but things on here sound more polished and better produced, perhaps a bit more complex in the lyrical department and storytelling. The band, they definitely honed their craft on this album as you feel the sense of gain growth and experience. Unfortunately, their record label Risk Records folded in January of that year, so that the band was shipped off to a different label, that being 404 Music, which basically buried this album and subsequently, it went nowhere in the charts or public conscience. However, all it takes is one person to find out, because this album crawled out of its DOA placement and became a real cult album through people, talking and sharing it on the internet, or just, being with other people that might be interested in the similar genres and style and mentioning it. So slowly but surely over time, this album, went from being absolutely buried, the most die-hard of cult members know and get to now, a pretty respectable cult record, I must say. Still, it was the end for the band. 2 months after this album was released, they called it quits. Jessica, she went on to form the band Scarling, and they released 2 albums. She's since done extensive artwork and art shows since then. It's really cool to see some of her work. And as for Agent Mulder, she went on to form a project called TCR, the Chrome Recordings. They made an album, and then she went on to marry a game designer, and then they formed a company specializing in game design. So you never know where life's going to take you, right? That's also very cool to see. However, I must say though, while the band did fold, in 2015, they did do a Now or Never reunion. Jessica, she was having some severe health problems and she wanted to do it. I'm not sure how she's doing now, but hopefully she's better. Unfortunately, Mulder, she wasn't part of it, but you had Jessica and other founding members like Achacha or In Hell, as well as Helen Storer, who was with Jack Off Jail at one point for their farewell tour in 2000. So they had quite a few shows going on, like I said, back in 2015, and then that was officially it for the band. So while the band didn't break the charts or have a significantly long career, they did make their mark in the Riot Girl scene and carved out quite a cult following of people into that movement, or the genres of goth, emo, industrial metal, and rock. Their material is on YouTube. You got fans finding lost demos of them, and you got artists making cover songs. All of that hopefully will get more eyeballs on the band and what they created and become new fans themselves. But as for Clear Hearts, Grey Flowers, let's get on with the track-by-track review.
When I am queen, they all will see the patron saint of self-injury. The glitter swords will heal themselves, slain part of someone else.
The first track, When I Am Queen, you get the opening piano melody from the end of Angel's Fuck, Devil's Kiss off of Sexless Demons and Scars, so again, that natural transition going on I love. I also love the radio speaker effects you get on the vocals. It adds to this authoritarian delivery and remarks of her singing. The charging drums and heavy bass are excellent because you feel the build up to the chorus, and the dreamy wave sound is just a nice touch. And of course, things explode for the chorus. You got her screaming out the words, and just the vocal carries at the end of the last words are absolutely terrific. The bridge, definitely eerie and creepy, putting a baby to sleep and making it bleed. So it's rather disturbing to say the least, but still kicks ass. There are references to past songs like Girl Scouts, and then you get themes of like self-harm and suicide. But snapping out of it and kind of going on this revenge tour of eliminating those that caused harm and making a world fit for herself. It's an outstanding track, if you ask me.
I'm not afraid, put the gun in my hand. I'm just afraid it'll hurt like hell. I'm not afraid of screaming, and I'm not afraid of crying. I'm just afraid of forgetting, and I am afraid of dying.
As for fear of dying, the way this song presents the character's life and mental and emotional states are just profound. You get this constant back and forth of not being afraid to do or say something, but being fearful of the implications or consequences. Some lines absolutely hit hard, like I'm not afraid of trying, I'm just afraid of losing, or I'm not afraid of being sick, I'm more afraid of being well. The guitars absolutely shred from beginning to end. The track in itself carries an old school punk attitude. For the most part, the song carries a fast tempo, but slows down during the bridge, where she draws out the words fear, which makes for a nice change in pace. And above all, I love the commentary. Many people can relate to it. And as a side note, earlier I talked about cover songs, right? Poppy, she made a drop-dead killer cover of this song. So yeah, regardless of if it's her or Jack Off Jill, this is an excellent tune.
You go so low, you're tragic disco, you're Nazi halo, won't save you this time.
Alright, Nazi Halo, a fuck you song to her former boyfriend Twiggy, the former bassist for Marilyn Manson I talked about in the last video. And while not a direct remark to Marilyn Manson, he will get his own song later on as another fuck you song. But for Nazi Halo, the vocals are interesting. They take on this distant, almost echoey quality, which goes hand in hand with the separation theme. The guitars and the drums, super prominent, very upfront, very loud. There's several ear candy melodies going on, such as when the sound and vocals get low and drawn out when she says the line, "You go so low," during the chorus. And I also like the irony of how he looks for her to save him, even though he sees her as a slur and, just kind of, above all, just treats her like shit. Hell, even the title in itself is ironic in a juxtaposition sense, but Nazi Halo just absolutely kicks ass.
He said that he would be the fairest, drenched in blood and serpentine. 'Cause when he lied, he loved me. And when he lied, he cared.
With Rabbiteen, a dark, gothic, romantic-like sound, but the story itself is far from romantic. The partner, he just extensively lies and gaslights her, through his words and actions. He twists the neglect and torment that he inflicts on her as his way of showing that he loves and cares for her. But she eventually does escape and will never go back no matter what he says. So there is some happy ending to this. Again, it's gothic as well as haunting. It takes a massive step back though from the frantic energy of the previous tracks, which works well. And there are multiple times in the song, especially during the bridge, where you hear this electric, almost synthesizer instrument playing out. I don't know if it's the piano, because the piano is played on here, so it might be a synth board, or perhaps it's just the guitar sounding like that. Whatever the case, I love it, especially this track. For Strawberry Gashes, my favorite song off the album. The way the track is composed by having it in a twisted, creepy, almost lullaby-like approach is fantastic. The eerie nature of how each word is delivered in length and depth just makes them stand out. It's totally top-notch. The instruments, especially the drums, follow along in that spooky lullaby delivery, and even when they ramp up for the chorus, they're still in the background, giving it an almost dreamy, reflecting quality, which the song totally goes for as she recollects her friend in the track. You know, she's using drugs and self-harming until she eventually commits suicide. And you hear about her friend. She's covered in strawberry gashes and having, you know, pale white skin as she says her final words to kill me faster. But the singer, she wishes that she could have saved her friend to the point that she would rather die herself if it means that her friend's soul can take her place. So the song is terrific through and through, and as mentioned, my favorite off the record.
Here's your answer. It's still fuck you. No forgiveness. You're no harder. Sell yourself like it's true. There's no price tag on my conscience. Here's your answer. It's still fuck you.
With author unknown, this is the fuck you song to Marilyn Manson I was talking about earlier, which revolves around the autobiography he wrote that ruined a lot of friendships and relationships with people, including Jessica. Again, I talked about in the previous video. But for the longest time, I thought the song actually dealt with like religious figures in the Bible. I'm pretty sure there's a drawing of a Bible on the song in the lyric sheets. But hey man, you can still interpret it, you know, at the end of the day it's just what you think. But regardless, she's putting the person on blast, you know, by calling him a liar. You easily feel the pissed off energy throughout, especially during the chorus, where everything is just on full power. I like the addition before the bridge where it's just instruments, but then she comes in with exhausted breaths, like just little details like that I appreciate. And hey, to finish off each chorus with the line, here's your answer, it's still fuck you, that might be added to my vocabulary of quotes because that kicks ass, especially with how she obliterates her voice screaming fuck you. Track Vivica, you're back to the creepy lullaby ballad approach as she sings about a friend going through domestic abuse. However, the song is nowhere near as overt in the descriptions of domestic abuse that you get on tracks like Girl Scout and Swollen, but you get the picture of said abuse going down, you know, like her friend dealing with the adverse and harmful effects of it, even things that in a last-ditch effort to find help don't work, like taking sleeping pills or having torn up rags to aid in the injuries. Just, you know, nothing's working, just in this, you know, downward spiral of hell, right? But I just love the style of this song, especially the chorus. Very heavy shoegaze elements going on there. It definitely does complement the tone, and it's not a song that causes audible whiplash, though, I must say, from something like the previous track. You know, both are presented in vastly different tones and emotions, yet are perfect and seamless.
There's a carnival in the graveyard tonight, with the clouds full of poison, and they fall on my skin, making tiny holes, erasing my legacy, which nothing hurts, nothing's right, I am nothing.
With Witch Hunt, holy hell, talk about atmospheric. This perfectly encapsulates the album cover, you know, to a literal extent, as she talks about writing at a carnival, at a graveyard. A lot of this song is like a fucked up nursery rhyme singing about dead girls twirling and burning witches. Jessica, she gives off these spine-chilling screams that she's burning. The piano, outstanding on this track. This is like if the band was to take inspiration from Alice Cooper's years ago song, you know, it's definitely got that quality to it. It seems like a revenge or redemption story playing out, but through the character of, like, I don't know, like Carrie, you know? So really this song is just excellent in creating a twisted, abandoned amusement park of an atmosphere, that's for sure. Cinnamon Spider, what a freaking jam this is. Just total head-banging guitars and drums. The rhythm, frantic and thrilling. The vocalists, they have this radio effect going on to them as well. And it feels like you're being approached by somebody with a dagger and an icy stare. You know, because this character, born from the ashes type of phoenix, you know, you get just totally hell-bent on hate and guilt. The guitars and instruments, totally Cloud 9. It's like this final boss or like a video game. Bass is about to self-destruct. Everything's just super chaotic. And for Jessica's voice, the way that she delivers the lyrics, it's kind of like in this disgust of a tone. I absolutely love, and of course it just explodes for the chorus. The title itself, definitely intriguing. It's unique. It manages to rhyme with other words in their respective verses. The spider, I kind of feel, symbolizes a trap. But for Cinnamon, you know, it definitely a flavor or spice that a lot of people love, so the spider could perhaps just lure people in. I don't know. It makes for an interesting discussion. But one thing's for sure, this song is terrific.
He made a decision. He jumped into the void. Or maybe he's just bored. He's just damn bored. He's just damn bored. He's just damn.
With the song Underjoyed, I'm a big fan with how heavy and muddy this track is. It feels like a stoner song. You know, you get the weight of the emotions onto you. Everything's just murky as you go about the theme of depression, with the narrator not knowing what's wrong because all the checkups with the doctor are fine. You get the commentary about people feeling the same condition and either killing themselves or becoming alcoholics. The bridge has this very cool effect where the vocals and instruments are washed out. The song is also doomy at parts, especially when she asks herself solemnly that maybe she's just bored. You know, good stuff all around. As for Surgery, my lord, what a heavy industrial intro with the drums just sounding like massive hammers banging away at a door. Just that heavy, doomy, industrial, bleak nature stretches throughout this entire song. Here she is in a relationship and the partner no longer finds her attractive, so she thinks there's something wrong with her and she tries to change herself. It's incredibly bleak. You feel the agonizing pain in her trying to change for him. You follow along in this downward spiral of ever-growing defeat and continual severity in how she views herself or wants to view herself, and whatever it takes for him to see her as he once did. So, you know, while he can fuck off, this song certainly shouldn't, because it is spectacular in its industrial, gothic, dreary nature.
I don't know who to believe. Peel all the scars from my way. When you're the boy that I want, we will have one perfect day. You end up dead in the end. Time.
For the song Star, No Star, a wonderful shift in pace. Up to this point, perhaps their most like stripped down song. You know, while gothy and moody, I pick up like early 70s metal here and there, such as the bass playing during the guitar solo gives me some Black Sabbath vibes. Same with the guitar playing in the outro. Much of the vocals are in a low, wishful tone with an edge. You definitely get themes of pain, want, betrayal, and loneliness. I like how the song's title is incorporated in distant fade-offs. She talks about seeing this person on TV and either once being with him or still being with him, but their relationship is terrible. So, you know, the way that TV is used, it's kind of like a deception tool or a device. You know, it's great because you see this partner one way on the TV, you know, that they present themselves one way, but she doesn't believe the television. And, you know, while he may be a star, he's no star to her when he's off the television. At least that's the way I view those parts. But yeah, Star, No Star, I absolutely love.
Now I'm God, because God never left me this
song Losing His Touch, the sinister, rebellious quality is top notch. She's like, fuck it, if God doesn't love me, then I'll become God. You know, you get that anarchy nature in Death to Religion and like dismantling the supreme characteristics of gods by making them out to be dead and decaying. I love the salivating remarks by her that now she gets to play God and like the God that she dethroned will finally love her. I'm sure if this album were a huge hit, or you know, perhaps just the song at least, there would have been some head spinning, especially the first pre-chorus of Calling Christ, Pink, Dried Up and Crippled. And as someone that believes in God and Christ, this song rules.
Your mouth is like an open sore where kisses rot and die. I'm not the girl that stopped and stared. I'm not the girl that lied. Your mouth is like an open sore where kisses rot and die. And this is what you want, this is what you get. And this is what you want, this is what you get.
As for Clear Hearts, Grey Flowers, the unofficial closing track of the album, and it is, of course, the title track. The first 60 to 70% of the song is through this direct, menacing low tone. You know, she's standing her ground, staring right at you as fire is seen in her eyes, basically. I like the symbolism for the title and how it pertains to the song. You know, Clear Hearts, kind of like empty promises or empty love, and Grey Flowers being, you know, dull and lifeless. This relationship, it's at the end of its ropes. You know, she compares his mouth to a funeral where words and kisses go to die. The last chorus and outro just ramp up in a pissed off way. It's similar to Angel's Fuck Devil's Kiss in that regard, but the song takes it back a bit. The vocables are eerie and haunting, and while the song repeats itself a lot, the gradual shift in heightened anger does it for me.
Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you.
Alright, the hidden track, track 66, a cover by the band The Cure with their song Lovesong. And fuck yeah, this cover absolutely rocks. Just goosebumps at times. You have the instruments mimicking the verses. You know, Jessica is singing in a gothic romantic way. The outro is just sensational with her yelling out love you, and those repeated O's just add so much to it. You know, there may be a billion songs titled Lovesong, but this one, regardless of whether it's The Cure or Jack Off Jill, it just stays memorable. Again, just goosebumps throughout. Everything's kicking ass. You just got this very, very haunting, romantic, gothic theme throughout. Just absolutely love. Alright, there you go. Jack Off Jill's album, Clear Hearts, Grey Flowers. So let me know what you think about this album if you've listened to it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'll be curious. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and take care.